Hey there, welcome to the latest episode of Hiker Homily. Today we're talking about proper hydration and what improper hydration looks like, the signs of dehydration. So you're going to get a lot of, when you look online to research hydration things, you're going to get a lot of very broad general, everybody should drink this much water a day. And that's fine. It's probably good advice. The only thing is we humans are a very diverse species, and we have what's called variance in our biology. That what works for one person doesn't necessarily work for the other person. There's a certain amount of, we just know biology works this way, so, and that's how we do things like cure diseases and stuff like that. But there's enough of a variance in things according to what shape we're in, what our body weight is, all that kind of stuff. When it comes to things like hydration, that there is a formula you can use to kind of help get you a little more accurate for just you yourself. And the formula is very simple. You take your body weight, you don't got to tell anybody what it is. You divide that in half, and the number you get is how many ounces of water you should be drinking a day to be properly hydrated under normal conditions. Normal conditions. So just hanging around, moderate to light exercise, things like that. You're going to add to that if you're dealing with very tough physical exertion or lots of sweating, you're in a lot of heat, things like that, you're going to add. But basically, your body weight divided in half is the number of ounces. So, everybody loves math, right? Let's do some math. As an example, if you have a person who's 200 pounds, I wish I was 200 pounds. Anyway, if we have a person that's 200 pounds, we're going to use simple numbers for that math. Divided by 2, so cut in half, that's 100. So 100 ounces of water would be that person's daily goal to stay properly hydrated. That sounds like a lot, right? 100 ounces. When you divide that down, that's 12 and a half cups, which still sounds kind of like a lot, but when you consider that's throughout the entire day, that's actually not that big of a deal. And that gets to be just under, if you want to round up, what you really should do, that would be 3 liters of water. 3 liters of water for the whole day. That's not actually that bad. That's pretty reasonable. Now again, remember, that is just under normal conditions, just you hanging out for the day, doing minor stuff, things like that. If you're going to be out in the heat or exerting yourself in any more, you're going to add to that, and that's going to be when you start looking for signs of dehydration to see how much you should be adding. And we're going to go over those signs. So signs for mild to moderate dehydration that you have to look for. These will be your body's warning signs that says, hey, you need to do something pretty much right away because we're getting dehydrated. And that would be things like, obviously, thirst, dry mouth. You're not urinating very much because your body's trying to conserve liquid when it has to. Or when you do urinate, it's a dark yellow color. Headaches, muscle cramps, those are all mild to moderate signs of dehydration. You get those when you're out hiking or exerting yourself. It's either time to get out of the heat and stop exerting if you can and get yourself some water and things, or at the very least you definitely have to start giving your body liquids. Cool water is always one of the best things to do. When you are sweating profusely, you are losing minerals and salt and things. You can restore your body with that by getting drinks with electrolytes. So a lot of quote-unquote sports drinks and things like that will work. Not a commercial, but I personally prefer like the Noon tablets. They work really well for me as far as getting electrolytes back. But there's a lot of different electrolyte supplements and drinks that you can get and things like that. So that's what you need to start doing when you start getting those mild to moderate signs of dehydration. Getting into severe signs of dehydration. Things like very dry skin. Your body is no longer able to sweat to try and cool you off. It's run out of that ability. You get some dizziness, some confusion, rapid heartbeat. You're disorientated, a little bit of irritability, things like that. Sunken eyes, if you're looking at the person, because you might not be able to tell it looking at yourself. Loss of energy, and then eventually unconsciousness. And when you get to that stage, you're in big trouble. Again, those are all signs of severe dehydration. Obviously, the treatment for that is, again, cool water, electrolytes if you can get them. But once you've hit those stages, you really need to consult a medical expert, get the EMS system activated. If you find somebody unconscious that are having those kinds of symptoms, their skin's very dry and things like that, then you need to try and get them cooled off as fast as you can and get emergency medical people in on the job immediately. Because dehydration is not just a thing in itself, it is also a major symptom of heat exhaustion, which can turn into heat stroke, which is fatal. So it needs to be taken care of. You can't mess around with it. So as soon as you start getting those mild to moderate symptoms, that's why I say you need to start doing something about it right then and there. You need to be hydrating yourself properly and things like that. And if you're not, you're going to start getting those more severe symptoms, and that means you're in trouble. Because eventually, if you go unconscious, you won't be able to help yourself, and other people might not be able to help you in time, and that could lead to something even worse. So the big thing is preparedness. Be prepared. How many times have I said that in a bunch of videos? Because it is. Like I said, I'm going to keep saying it because it needs to be really pounded home. It's not just a Boy Scout slogan. It is very important that you prepare yourself for what you're doing. If you know you're going to be going out, like today, it's 8:30 in the morning and it's already 80-something degrees. It's going to be a hot day. So I brought plenty of water with me for this walk to do this video and to get some miles in and things like that. I'm out here with my son's running team, and they have lots of water with them because later in the day we're going to be in triple digits Fahrenheit, which kind of sucks. That's why they're doing this in the morning. But even in the morning, it's already warm. So you prepare. You bring plenty of water. And that's what you have to do. You have to just know what you're going to be walking into that day and be prepared for it. Have enough water. That way you don't start experiencing the mild to moderate signs of hydration. Or if you do, you can do something about it. If you're not prepared, you could be leading yourself into trouble. There's no way to over-dramatize this. Because, it could lead into things like heat stroke. Your body will seize up, and that can be fatal. That's not over-dramatization. That's basic biology right there. So, proper hydration can be done. You can figure out exactly how much you should be drinking normally, add to it as needed compared to how hard you're working and things like that. Like I say, if my normal weight was 200 and I was supposed to be doing 3 liters a day, but I'm going to be doing 10 miles in the desert that day, obviously I'm going to be drinking more than 3 liters. I'm going to bring probably 6 with me to have throughout the day. So be prepared, be ready, and have the proper stuff on hand. And that's about it. That is properly hydrating and the signs of dehydration to look out for. Any questions, comments, any experience with this kind of thing? Let us all know. Comments down below or at hikingforhealthca@gmail.com or any of the other places that I post this, comments and things like that. Always appreciate feedback. And other than that, I'll see you next time.